Beetlejuice. I'm not going to say it a third time, but I'm probably going to say it sometime during the movie spoiler review that I'm doing here, which is, this is the movie spoiler review for it. I got to see it last Friday. And before we begin, hit that subscribe button and that notification button if you haven't already. If this is your first time here, thank you for joining me. Check out my other movie reviews as well as short films that I've created over time and will continue to create as long as I can. And to those who have been joining me, thank you for your support, always supporting me. It means a lot. And let's get straight to it. I'm trying to avoid saying the name again. I really enjoyed the film. I love the first film. Well, I wouldn't say I love the first film, but I really like the first film. It's quirky, it's weird, it kind of doesn't make sense to me, but it is what it is, and I appreciate it. It's Tim Burton, Michael Keaton, you have Catherine O'Hara, you have Winona Ryder, back from the first films. You have new characters in Jenna Ortega, you have Justin Theroux, Monica Bellucci, and I really enjoyed, and Willem Dafoe. He's great, as always. But I really enjoyed the second one. I thought it was great. Compared to the first one, I think I appreciated it more. The first one is classic, but I think if I have to sit down and watch either one, and I've seen the first one many times, I think I can sit down and watch the second one more than I could watch the first one if I had to choose. I think I would go with the second one. There are some misses in the second one that I wish that they would have expanded upon and maybe shied away from, not really delved into. And what I'm talking about with not really getting into that, it probably could have been a third film if they wanted to go that route, was the whole ghost kid that tried to take Jenna Ortega's place to switch so he can be alive and then she will be dead. That arc, I didn't mind it, but I just felt like if that was where they were going to go with the story, it probably should have been expanded on more so than the whole story of, let's just say, I just can't avoid it, Beetlejuice and his wife played by Monica Bellucci. I think it's Dolores. Like, they had that story going on, and then they had Jenna Ortega's story going on, and then the whole character of the father of Winona Ryder's character, who, if you know the story of the actor, I forget his name, but he has some issues with, predatory behavior, and they weren't going to bring him back, obviously, for that, to avoid stuff, but they did showcase his pictures a lot, and just, they did utilize him in some way, even though it's not him or the voice actor or the actor doing the voice, but they did showcase him a lot. So it's like, at that point, you might as well just cast him again, but I can see why they did it, and they went the route they did. I didn't mind the whole claymation aspect of how they showed his death. It's very Beetlejuice-esque in the, in terms of the film and how they went about that. But I would have liked more Monica Bellucci. She's great. She's beautiful. And shout out to Tim Burton. I believe he's dating her. So, kudos to him. She's a babe. She's always been great in film. If you've seen her in The Matrix, Reloaded, and she's done a lot of films, and I haven't seen her in a while. So to see her again was pretty cool. And, in a Hollywood film, I haven't seen her in a Hollywood film in a while. I think Shoot 'Em Up was the last film I saw her in with Clive Owen. But to see her again was cool. But I just felt like she was there, and they could have expanded upon the storyline with her trying to get Beetlejuice. But then she was gone at one point, and she returns, and it was just, there was just so much going on. And I felt like they should have just stuck to one story. Beetlejuice and Dolores. The whole Jenna Ortega, my mom, I don't care about her. Like, I hate that character trope. So that just kind of took away from me. And then you had that story with the ghost kid trying to, take her soul or, switch the idea of her, taking his place to die and he's living again. That could have been like another film, I guess, or like a spinoff. I don't know what they want to do with the story. I think Tim Burton doesn't want to make another one just for the sake of it, which is fine, but I just felt like it just choose one or the other because it kind of took away from the whole Beetlejuice and Dolores aspect. And then you got the whole Jenna Ortega, I hate my mom type of deal. But I liked Beetlejuice. It was Beetlejuice, just like the first one, but it's one of those films where it's like, it's cool. I can watch it over and over. You do miss the Maitlands, but they explain what happened to them. And like Tim Burton said, ghosts don't age. And if you see them as ghosts and older characters, Alec Baldwin, if they were to hire him again because of the whole controversy with the shooting on the film Rust, and then Gina Davis, I don't know. His thing was they don't age, so why bring them back? But of course, there's technology, CGI, de-age them. But for not bringing them back is fine. They weren't a very big part of the story anyway. It would have just been a throwaway. So I didn't really like need them, but they were referenced at least. But I liked the film. I thought it was, good to see after all these years. I grew up watching the cartoon after the first film. I was born in '86, so I don't think I was born when Beetlejuice came out. Or if I was born, I was just young when it came out. But I got to, obviously, when I was older, watch the films and understand it. And, over time, keep watching it and whatnot, pick up on things I didn't realize. But, the cartoon came out. I definitely was around for that. And it kind of felt like the cartoon, for sure, because the cartoon really expanded upon that world, that mythos, I guess you will, if you will. And it just felt like a cartoon. It felt like an episode of the cartoon or just in that aspect. Kind of like Ghostbusters Frozen Empire felt like it was an episode of the cartoon in some way. The cartoons in some way. The real Ghostbusters. So I thought it was fun. I mean, if you're a Beetlejuice fan, I don't think you would be disappointed, other than it is kind of a slow start, reintroduction to characters of old and new, but I thought it was great in how they handled getting us into that world again, and that they, allowed us to see new in, that whole world, not just stuck in the house and then, Beetlejuice doing his thing, but now it's like we're getting out of the house, around the town, but now also in the, I don't know, the underworld or something, purgatory or whatever the hell the world is that are in. I don't recall if that was mentioned. Pretty sure it was probably mentioned in the first film. But, it was great to just kind of see this new life. I remember hearing about Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian, which was originally the sequel, and you kind of saw something like that in the story, I guess, with the father before he dies, when they mentioned Hawaii. I think that's where he went. Like, you kind of see that I guess that they were taking part of that aspect of what would have been the sequel and incorporated into this film. But I always hated the idea, like, Hawaiian, Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian, like, what's happening there? But I like what they did with this one. I thought it was cool. I thought it was fun, and definitely not a waste. But Michael Keaton still got it. He's a great actor. Michael Keaton is a great actor. He can do it all. I mean, he's the freaking Batman, the number one Batman. He can play Beetlejuice. He's just a very versatile actor, comedy, seriousness. Like, Michael Keaton is one of my favorite actors for sure. And he still looks great for his age, and he's just fun to watch. And I want to see more of him. I've seen a lot of his films. I think the last film that I really saw him in was The Birdman, like the last big role, even though I'm pretty sure he's had other roles in that. But, like, he's awesome. And to see him in Beetlejuice again was cool. And, I would love to have a third film. People are saying, let's make the third film Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. And, that would be cool, for that third film and then title it like that. But from what I've read, Tim Burton probably doesn't want to just do a third film just to do it. And who knows if he wants to wait another, like, what was it, 30 years to make another film? So 20, 30 years to make another film. So we'll see. But apparently it did well in the box office. And if the money talks and the script is right, stranger things have happened. They can always create it and get it done. Hopefully the studios don't interfere and say if Tim Burton doesn't want to do it, decide to give it to somebody else because they're like, it's Beetlejuice, people want it. Like, just don't do it at all if that's the case. But I recommend it. I thought it was great. Again, slow start at the beginning. Jenna Ortega is a great actress. I just didn't really care for her character and what she was dealing with. The twist was rather interesting. Like, I kind of thought it was weird in the beginning when he introduces her to his parents, or he just says, hey mom, hey dad, and you don't really like pay to, like, the focus isn't really on them. Like, they're kind of ignoring him. Like, I thought something was weird. And then when it turns out he's actually dead, I'm just like, did they portray that right? Like, how is no one thinking that she was weird for going into this house, which was apparently abandoned because he was a murderer. He killed his parents and no one lived there. But if people are going into that house, like, wouldn't they have like peeked out, like, what's going on? And of course, you don't need to show that in film, but I guess stuff like that I would have felt more believable to have a question like, huh? Like somebody just looking like, oh, she just went into the house. Like, if it was just random, and you would have been like, why would they just show a random person? And then when the twist happened, and it's like, oh, okay, that's why that random person just looked. But yeah, just stuff like that. I personally, as a filmmaker, would like to see. And as a necessary, no, but these are the things that I, for my sake, would do, just to kind of make it a little bit more for what I feel is plausible of a scenario. You had Danny DeVito in a small role, and Danny DeVito's worked with Tim Burton as the Penguin in the Batman Returns, so it was cool to see him in a Tim Burton film again in that small role. He was like a janitor, undead janitor. And yeah, I mean, I recommend, if you like Beetlejuice, if you haven't seen it yet, 2 thumbs up for me. If you haven't seen either of the film, if you haven't seen either of the first one and haven't seen this one yet, definitely go check the first one if you're contemplating on seeing Beetlejuice, and then check out Beetlejuice. I think you would have a good time in seeing these films. They're definitely weird but fun films. And I think one thing I missed was, and they kind of had a little moment, but the Deo Banana Boat song, like Banana song, what's the title of it? I know it's Deo, but that song in the first one, like they try to do something in this one, the second one, and it didn't really hit, even though that one was pretty quick. This one lasted a little longer than I would have liked, but you can kind of see that they try to do something there. But I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was cool, and I don't know what's going on with Beetlejuice. I don't recall the ending. I know there was a weirdness of a dream, and I don't know if he's still around. I don't think he's dead. He's just sent back, I guess, to the underworld, or again, purgatory, or whatever the heck that place is. But I liked it a lot. I thought it was fun. I mean, there's nothing that I would say, there's films out this year that I've seen that I liked. So far, I've seen Twisters, Alien Romulus, Beetlejuice. I think Sting I saw earlier this year. Like pretty much everything, Deadpool and Wolverine, everything that I've wanted to see so far, I've seen. I don't know what other films coming up this year that I want to see. I feel like I've seen everything that I've wanted to. Maybe Gladiator 2. I'm not really like too keen on the sequel, but I think that's coming out this year. But I feel like I've seen everything that I wanted to so far. But we'll see in the coming days. But yeah, I mean, again, Beetlejuice, quick review. I liked it a lot. I thought it was fun, slow start, but it's more an open world in this film. And I recommend it. Again, 2 thumbs up. Check it out. Again, check out my other movie reviews if you're contemplating on seeing those movies, if you haven't seen them yet and you don't care for spoilers, or if you've seen them and you want to make a comment, if you agree with any of my takes, or if you liked it yourself, let me know what you liked or didn't like. Keep the comments professional. And again, hit that subscribe button and that notification button for more updates. As always, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And until next time, later.